Hey everyone, hope you're well. I think I've just noticed that my house is slanted slightly, and trying to line it up with the camera and the bed and everything has been messing with my head for the past 5 minutes because the bed kind of goes upwards, and I've convinced myself that everything is leaning this way slightly. We are on a bit of a slope, but I can't tell if the camera's right. The worst thing is, and it ties into my video a bit, my posture's so bad as well that I'm slightly slanted anyway, so not that far obviously, but yeah, if these have been off for the past 400 videos and you've always had a bugbear with it, I'm sorry. I don't know what to do about it because everything's wonky, including me. And I'm trying really hard. There's a bubble on my tripod that when it's in the middle, everything looks like that and it just doesn't seem to work. So yeah, I thought I'd intro with that nugget of frustration. It's been a weird week, really. I feel like I wanted to do loads, but having had my injection last week, it has just made me feel weird. I always do feel a bit weird the first week, and I know I've spoken about it before, but it just makes me feel a bit like, not moody, not depressed, but just negative. And I've been trying really hard to not just do whiny negative videos where I'm whinging about stuff. I made some notes about the week and I just thought, getting out of the way, I do feel like I need a bit of a rocket, a bit of a lift, a bit of a push. So I kind of mentioned on Twitter that I'd started looking at people who could like give me some sort of guidance on getting fit and whatever, just being active. But my God, everyone advertising their services in the area comes across as really not my cup of tea, and their motivations for getting into it and that kind of thing are all really like they were shocked to be, you know, much lighter than I am and much more able than I am, and so they dedicated themselves to running many marathons. And I'm thinking, I just wanted to kind of have a bit of motivation to try and get back on the horse. I didn't want to be like feeling really off for not being an athlete. Obviously they're going to be people who are very into athletics, but I just don't have that kind of connection with them. So that killed that. But I don't think I'm necessarily, I am overweight and I do want to lose weight, but I'm not actually that fussed about it. I'm more fussed about the fact I just feel like I'm in a bit of a slump in general. I was kind of caught that my arm, and I know this is going to sound bad, and don't start reaching for the panic. My arm all week has been really weird and uncomfortable, and in bed I just kept rolling over and moving it and all of this. I trapped a nerve in my neck. It was not heart attack symptoms. I told Claire I had a numb arm, and she was like, shouldn't we get that checked? And I was like, no, I had a trapped nerve in my neck that was making my arm just feel weird all week. And I started to worry because Googling it, other than the heart attack stuff, talked about arthritis in your neck and all of this. And I thought, it's not arthritis. I've just been sat at my desk. My posture needs to be better. So I've ended up putting my laptop like that far off the table, just so I've got to sit like this. I need to buy a mouse because at the moment I'm kind of going like that to move the mouse around on the trackpad, and I've got a keyboard under the table that I write on. And it's helped a little bit this afternoon when I used it. I kind of managed to sort of bend a lot, and it kind of went and it's gone away, but I do feel off. And I think stuff like that just made me think maybe a fitness person would get me going, but all they've done reading their profiles has pushed me even further into feeling despair. I don't know what it is. I was even chatting, someone added me on LinkedIn completely randomly, an American lady. She does like 6 jobs. I thought she was just a recruiter looking for some people to recruit, but weirdly we just ended up talking about what she does, her life, just having a conversation really. She had a relative die and things like that, and it was like sad but a good conversation. And I just thought, you do so many things, how do I get this motivated? So we were chatting about stuff like that, and I just thought what would have been perfect is if she'd have just gone, have you looked at this, this and this, do this, you'll feel better. And I'd have just been like, bang, sorted. It would have been the universe just supplying me a random person. But that didn't happen, unfortunately. It wouldn't be that easy. If it was that easy, everyone would have it. But I do feel like I need to be searching for some sort of whatever it'll be. It's the usual stuff. I don't want to get into it, but it's the usual stuff. I just need some sort of direction and I'll be fine. Work has been busy as hell, which has been good, but also stressful because I'm balancing all this stuff, trying to figure out what we're supposed to do where and how and whatever. And from that point of view, I mean, that's good. If I can pull off even half the stuff that I'm working on at the moment, that is very good for, Claire and I, let alone the company I work for and that kind of thing. But it's just a lot to think about, and I mean, that's fine. When I leave work, I don't think about it. You know what I mean? It's not a worry. I'm not complaining. I'm just thinking, it's been really busy. Poor old Ben has been a nightmare all week. He's in this habit of not listening to you. So today he just climbed up on a chair and started eating tomatoes that were on the counter. And I was like, no, don't eat them. Stop. And he's grabbing as many as he can because he knows I'm coming to get him. I think it was Sunday morning. He got up, went downstairs, opened the fridge, got some food, and came upstairs. And Claire was just like, "Did you shut the fridge? Like, what? A, why did you go in the fridge? We put everything up high, and B, like, how did you get that?" And I was asleep, but I ended up having a dream for like an hour about how figure out whether he'd left the fridge door open. But I wasn't communicating it with Claire because I was asleep. So in my dream, I'm thinking, just ask Alexa to listen into the kitchen, and if you can hear the door dinging, you know that the fridge door's open. You don't even have to get out of bed, just do that. And I'm laying there for an hour thinking, why don't you just do that? Why don't you ask Alexa to listen in? And then when I woke up, I thought, I didn't know I was asleep. It was just bizarre. I told Claire that actually that is a genius idea, so next time she'll know. But we need to buy some sort of fridge lock. I heard him before I was recording. I text Claire going, Ben's pressing this honking button on his toy car downstairs. Can you turn it off? I heard her tell him to stop pressing it. I heard it go off like 5 more times. Then I heard her putting it away and him crying because he'd been put away. But he's at that point where he's like, no, I want to do this. I'm going to do it. Screw you. So I think that's, again, not helping because we've all got so much to do. He's really busy, and bless him, he just wants to he wants to be let loose, and trying to keep an eye on him and stop him doing stuff he shouldn't be doing. I mean, anything that could harm him is put away and high up and away. We're used to having kids, but where we've got this bigger fridge now, he can just pull the door open because he's tall enough, and some of the lower shelves have fruit and veg on, but he's just helping himself. He's just going for it, which on one hand's healthy, on the other hand is annoying because it's eating all our fruit and veg. Bless him. But nah, it's just been fun. The kids have had quite a good week. Ollie's really missing his friends, but he had an assembly and he got to see all of his friends on Zoom, or half his class sort of thing. It was really nice hearing how excited they were to see him. Everyone's like, hi Ollie. He's like, hi so-and-so, hi so-and-so. And then he's chatting away to one of the lads who he's been playing Roblox with a little bit. They've not been able to talk over it, but he said hello to him. Yeah, they were delighted to see each other. He came off and he had this kind of glow of, he was like, I'm so glad I got to see my friends. And he gave me a hug because he was so happy. And he was just like, I want to see him again soon. And I thought there'll be an assembly next week. He can do that. He was well chuffed. And then we got an email telling us Emily's form at a new school. And it was all kind of, because we'd been told, and she'd text her friend saying, what form are you in? What house are you in? And her friend had they texted each other at the same time saying, what house are you in? And then they both replied, and they were in the same house. And then Emily come running in and was like, what form am I in? Who's my tutor? And we're looking through, and she texted a name back, and we were just waiting for her friend to text back. And then her friend texted back the same name. And Emily was just jumping around like, yes. And we were like really pleased, because I think I've said before, I've been so nervous about her not knowing anyone, not having any friends there, and just having to go alone. And I've said to her, I know that she'll make friends. She's great at making friends. She's really good at getting on with people and very sort of personable and everything. But I just want her to have some lifelong friend who's there. She's known this girl since she was 4. And yeah, when we found out they were in the same group, like brilliant. That was such a nice moment. Very happy. Her friend was delighted as well, obviously. They thought for a moment that 2 more of their class were in their form, but it turns out they're in the other form of the same house colour. Another friend of hers is in a completely different house and all of this. So there's 5 of them going. They're very excited they're together, though. For the first, I think it's 6 weeks, they are just together in the same room. It would be pretty much like primary school from that respect. They're not changing classes. It's just COVID, you're in your form, sorted. Once they're 6 weeks in, I think they'll be put into sets and everything. So I sort of joked to Emily that she's basically got to make sure she's as clever, or her friend is as clever as her. I think they're both quite good level, but they're just going to have to make sure that they do very similarly in English, maths, science, if they're going to maintain their group. As I say, they are pretty similar. They do their homework a lot together. They talk a lot together. I don't know. They just get on really well. And it'd be nice if they could hang out together and just be a little duo. So that was exciting. They were very chuffed with that. I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah, her form tutor was someone I worked with when I was trained to be a teacher. I said that to her. I said, don't mention it to him, because you don't want to, I'm pretty sure it was fine, but I don't want to sully her time there when they go, oh, him, oh God, he's terrible. And, you know, be really offended that my spawn has turned up at their school. But I don't think that'll happen. It's just interesting that this is it. She's going to be going to school with a lot, well, not a lot of people, some people that I worked with in that one placement. And they might not even remember me. I was there for like 10 weeks, if that, in like 2013, I think it was, 2012, 2013. Ollie would have been like 1, I guess. I mean, he was born when I was on my first placement, so he wouldn't have even been 1. So it was 8 years ago, give or take. So they're probably not going to remember me, but they might do. It'd be nice if they were like, oh, I think I met your dad, But I said to her, just keep it quiet. The form tutor was nice. I was like, I worked with him. I taught some of his classes. He seemed like a very nice man. People seem to get on with him. He knows his stuff. It's all good. I wouldn't even pretend to know what schools are like 8 years on from the one I worked in. I feel like it was just getting harder and harder and harder, and not to get political, but I feel like it was just getting rinsed, and that's part of the reason it just isn't for me. I envy people having the stones to do it, but it was interesting. The second she said the name, I was like, I know him, I know them, yep, that's it, I know him, I know I work with him. I was googling him, and sure enough I did. But yeah, she's very excited. I'm very pleased for her because, as I say, it was a very big worry. We had quite a nice weekend as well. We had Claire's parents over for a barbecue. It was funny because, being low, I was kind of like, oh, I can't be bothered. Like, I really want to see him, but it's Saturday. I just want to do nothing. Please just let me do nothing. I tried to put it off to Sunday, but Claire was going out with her friends on Sunday to just hang out like in a park, a couple of meters apart and everything. But they turned up and we put the barbecue on. I did put this on Twitter. They brought some coal along with them and we put it in the fire, and it was just smoke everywhere. Little bits. It was in paper bags, and you had to burn the bag with the paper, with the coal. Sorry, that's how you lit it. And it just smoke, complete mess. And I looked at the bag, and the bag was from 1995. This coal was like, I was 10 when it was put in a bag. I mean, I'm guessing that it's been around longer than that. It's coal, but yeah, I was 10 when this was dug up and bagged up and sold in a shop somewhere. And it turned out their neighbour had given it to them when they moved because they didn't want to take it with them. They just had it left spare and they didn't need it. And then we poured some lighter fluid on there to get it lighting as well, which also went a bit wrong. And that was 2003. So that was older than all my kids. And yeah, very, probably put together even, because that'd be 17 years. So almost as old as all of my kids put together. And yeah, I didn't even know Claire when that was sold. That's how old that is. That was basically just before we met. So yeah, very weird. And it didn't affect the food. I was saying on Twitter as well that, and this is ironic talking about fitness on one hand and then talking about this on the other, but I'll bear with me. I ate so much at this barbecue. And as my dad put, how do you eat so much when you're a vegetarian at a barbecue? Well, Claire bought a lot of vegetarian sausages and burgers and sweet corn and stuff like that. And I ate everything I was given, or everything I could have, because I was very hungry. I think I'd got up a bit later than I intended to. Again, part of feeling a bit run down from the jab. And so I kind of had breakfast for lunch and then went straight into barbecue and just ate everything. And then at the end of it all, when I was just like, oh my God, I can't move, I was looking at the boxes with Claire, because I was kind of just chucking them all in the bin. But I said to her, I don't even know how much I've eaten today. It just seems ridiculous. And we looked at the back. I worked out that despite eating more than a normal person would, and way more than I should have, and being massively like ruined by it all, I hadn't even done 900 calories worth of vegetarian meat, like fake meat. It's just got no calories in it. It's ridiculous. Like, I'd had a bit of bread, but I looked at the bread wrapper and the vegetarian stuff wrapper, and I was just like, that's insane. That is insane. Like, if I just had that for lunch and dinner, split between 2 meals, I'd probably have had slightly less, but it would have been like 400 calories a meal or something like that. Absolutely mental. So yeah, if you're ever wanting to go to a barbecue and you just want to go nuts on it, that's the way to do it. That was amazing. I mean, on the other side of that, I did drink like 3 or 4 beers, which were probably more calories than the food I ate. And that's probably why I was feeling a bit heavy. But it's nice to have a blowout like that. It was really good fun in the end, actually. That was quite uplifting, because like my mother-in-law was just dancing with the kids and having a laugh and getting tipsy, and my father-in-law was having some good chats with me, and we were just having a nice chill out. I was very surprised as well, actually, that I noticed, like, 'cause my neighbours were playing music when my in-laws arrived, and they asked me about it, and I said, well, yeah, we're having a bit of back and forth. I didn't get to go on the radio in the end. They just didn't come back. They didn't respond. They didn't talk to me. So I was telling her about that, and I said, they've not been too bad. And she was like, well, it's noisy now. And it wasn't noisy. They turned it off. And I said, okay, well, they've not been bad at all, really, in over a week. And we put our music on, and they had theirs on quite, we had it on the same sort of level, so it was fine. And they seem to have just stopped. They seem to have just stopped being annoying. I don't really know why. I'm like, have they seen something? I was slightly worried they might have seen something online from me moaning and just reacted to it. But I was putting stuff in the bin, and one of them came out to the bin, and they're like, all right, how you doing? And I said, yeah, I'm good, you right? They're like, yeah. And then we both just went in, and then she just seemed really happy. I was just like, okay, cool. Hopefully that's the end of that, and it's just not been a problem. It's not been a problem at all. And we moved our Alexa to the window, thinking it was going to be a bigger problem, and like that was my thing. I'd moved the Alexa across thinking, oh, we'll just drown it out, it won't be a problem. And it feels like that's just done the job, which is a nice relief. All good. I'm sort of running through my head thinking what else happened. Next door have been very quiet. That has been good. I've talked about that. God, do you know what? Normally I could just riff this, but I'm rusty. I need to be doing more, but I don't have that much to talk about. I know what I would like suggestions on, if people can help, and I was trying to think of the way to word it, but like, back of my hair is all curly and mad, and I daren't let Claire go near it because I've got very little hair as it is. Like, I know it looks longer than normal. It doesn't look that different, it's just messy. But you need a mask to get your hair cut now, obviously. And I don't know where to get masks from. Like, Kev recommended a company called Hygge or something like that, and I asked them. I went and messaged them on Facebook and said, I'm not expecting this to be like doctor's grade, but would you recommend buying and wearing this over your face to stop COVID? And the person there replied very fairly, I am, but it doesn't meet any kind of regulations. It's only single ply. I wouldn't rely on it really. I'm just using mine because it's better than absolutely nothing, but I don't think it protects any. They were just like, I don't think it does anything. I'm just wearing it because then I don't get told off, essentially. Reading between the lines, they were just like, I can go out, no one's going to say, where's your mask? But it doesn't achieve anything. Other people are telling me it just has to be something, anything will do, but that's not strictly true. I mean, the government does put some kind of guidance out of what it's got to be made of and that kind of thing. I don't really want to just rip up a t-shirt. That just seems gross to me. I kind of want to just buy something that I know the person who made it has put the time and effort in to say, this is good enough. It's not doctor's grade, but it's good enough to stop you infecting other people, and then I'll wear it. I'm not worried about me. I'm not worried about wearing a mask. I did wear one in the doctor's the other day to have my jab, and annoyingly it seemed my glasses up, but I can live with that. I'm not trying to be selfish. I'm actually trying to be the opposite of selfish. I don't want to put something on from Hygge and go, yeah, I've got this luminous thing around my face, and then like it turns out I've got COVID and I'm singing or something, because that's the thing that seems to be all over the media at the moment, and I just end up getting COVID in someone's face. I mean, it's a bit of an elaborate story, but that seems to be what the point of the mask is: stop you coughing, spitting by mistake, whatever it is, and getting COVID on someone. And I've been told by not just Hygge, they're just the one that Kev keeps pushing me towards with his pictures and stuff. Not in intent, he's not physically going by there, he's just recommended them and he shows his one, but they've said that's not the right stuff. Other companies I've asked have said the same thing. Some I've looked at have said theirs is good enough, but the reviews don't seem good, or like Amazon's full of really poorly reviewed masks. Some people have said Co-ops sell them, and I might have to nip in. Part of me is like, I don't want to go in there because I've not got a mask, so what do? I can't go in the shop without a mask, blah, blah, blah. If Tesco's sold them online, which I had a quick look and I couldn't find them, that'd be great, I'd get some delivered. But I don't know, I kind of just need them to be mainstream enough that somewhere like Tesco's has taken the risk of somebody suing them if they're wrong, because that's how companies work. Companies who put their neck on the line and say this is good enough are doing so because they don't want to get sued, and they also want to do the right thing. Companies who just stick them up and be a bit vague about it, a little bit like, oh, it might work, it covers your face, I don't know. I'm not interested in that. I want commitment. because it's people's lives. And I know I haven't got it, or at least, you know, as far as I know, I haven't got it. I just don't want to kill someone. You know, I think that's pretty reasonable. At the moment, I've just not been leaving the house unless I'm going out in a very big open. I took Ollie up to the field and back to do some Pokemon stuff. That is literally all I've been doing. Because I want to do more active stuff. I want to be more active, but it's just not much to do unless you've got this covering, and I don't know, it's just a faff. I wish someone was clearer with it. We need some proper leadership about what to do, and it's just not proper. It's vague, non-committal, and avoiding being criticised, and I just don't deal with that. I need absolutes. I need this, do, that, done. So yeah, I just want to get my hair cut, damn it. Someone put a thing through saying they'd come to our house, they'd be in all the gear and they'd cut our hair. But I don't know whether they'd... I mean, in that scenario, yeah, I'm quite happy to just wrap a tea towel around my face and let you cut my hair. But I don't know whether that'd be enough. And again, I just don't want to risk it. But that could be the thing where I have them come in, they give me COVID, and then I'm trying to find a mask and it just bundles on. The part of the reason I've been thinking about this a lot is because we've been trying to cancel a trip for the end of July that we had booked, and we were going to up north somewhere, Yorkshire, with Claire's parents, and Airbnb are little gits for not cancelling stuff unless you jump through a million hoops. We told them we couldn't come because 3 households, one's elderly, one needs public transport with 3 different bubbles, one's in London, the other 2 are up here, but it's a long way to travel and we just don't want to do it because it's not safe, and blah, blah, blah. You know, one of them's furloughed, potentially unemployed at the end of the month. It's just not going to happen. They were like, can you send us proof? Can you send us government guidance that shows why you have to be exempt? Can you do this? Can you do that? We're going to give you 0 refund. You can cancel it, but we'll keep the 1,500 quid your family spent on a holiday. It's like, no. So I spent like my lunch break today just pulling together all the bloody things I needed to show them, to say, this is what the government say, this is what the government say about this, this is proof that they're old. You know, it's 3 households. You're not supposed to be in groups bigger than 6. There's 9 people on the booking. Like, for goodness sakes, just give us our money back. And yeah, they kind of said, we'll deal with your refund in the next couple of days. So I'm hoping that'll be good news, but it's very frustrating. I kind of get it as well. They don't want to completely bankrupt all their people, but it's just been, when we cancelled the Ho Seasons one, they were like, yep, cool, see you later. And that was it. You know, this one just seems to be, no, we're going to try and keep you. I mean, we didn't even book it with them. We booked it with a cottages.com, and it just, it's a faff. They're all woven together and it's all a mess, but a headache. I think that's everything. It's hopefully not been as boring as I'm looking down my list thinking they were quite dry. I hope you've enjoyed watching the vlog. Let me know how you're getting on. It's been a long week, really. It feels like forever since I've spoken to anyone. I'm kind of still doing the whole searching stuff. Emily and Oliver were lecturing me earlier because I was telling them that I've read that apparently if you've got, like, say I had, my videos got what, 250 subscribers that watch all the time. If that was how many subscribers I'd have, YouTube would put my videos in front of more and more and more people because everyone that watches them stays watching them. But because I've got 1,500-ish and 1,300 people don't watch them, the algorithm just assumes they're rubbish. And I'd read this, and this is what I think is. So I was like, so at the moment it's not putting it to anyone new. So I was like, so it's not, if I individually did 200 episodes that just annoyed one of you at a time, I'd end up with no followers. And I was like, I don't really know how to fix that, because even if I do something new, it's just not going to promote it. I'm kind of in a weird YouTube algorithm black hole. And they were just lecturing me. They were like, you need to do more videos with us. You need to do more challenges. Emily was like, let's get a load of drinks and blindfold you. Guess what the drinks? And I was like, that'd be fun. But I don't know. I need to learn how YouTube works. Because I'm not trying to turn this into a million subscribers thing. They were lecturing me that someone they follow had just got their diamond award for 1 million subs. And they were like, how many have you got? And I said 1,500. They were like, you are so bad. They're ruthless. But yeah, I know it's not, and I know, to be fair, I know a lot of them come from Kev. But yeah, they've been lecturing me. They're trying to give me a kick up the backside. I did think maybe what I need to do, if they want to do videos like that, maybe we need to start a separate channel where we just do stuff like that, and they can be the drivers of whether it goes anywhere, because that might be useful. If that suddenly goes from like 0 to 50 people to 100 people and so forth and grows, it will outgrow this one because we'll have done it without any, you know, I can nod some people that way who want to be, but it's all weird. This is why people need to subscribe, like, comment and all that when people say it at the end. I'm kind of, I like learning about that stuff, and I like following that stuff, because I feel like eventually I'll have an idea that will be worthy of the knowledge, but I still haven't had the idea. It's still frustrating. My mate was trying to convince me to do a Pokemon lore, not lore, L-A-W-L-O-R-E, vlog, because I was telling him all about some of the different Pokemon and their stories and my thoughts on their stories, and how some of the stuff doesn't really add up unless you think of it from this perspective. And he was just like, you need to record this. And I said, yeah, that would be fantastic. But again, that would be a third channel that I'd need to do, because I don't think it would work on here, because YouTube would just axe it straight in the heart. So yeah, I may end up doing that if I can think of the right setup to do so. I don't think I could pull that one off just sat here in my bedroom, but I also said to him, I'll only do that if it doesn't already exist in like 50 different ways and I'm just repeating other people's ideas, because that would be terrible. But yeah, he quite liked it. He quite enjoyed me just telling him about it. He'd ask me questions. So yeah, I might do something like that just for fun, but it won't be here. It'll be on a different thing. But I won't stop doing these ones. I guess, as I said before, it's a little bit hard when it just kind of goes at the same bit, and YouTube properly kicks you about it. Shows you little things that are dropped, big red arrows and big numbers down and stuff, and you're like, I don't know what to talk about. We're in lockdown. It's mental. But yeah, you know, I appreciate all of you who watch and comment, and really do, and I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy the back and forth. I would do this forever if it was just that, because I like the conversation. It's like, just, I put stuff out there, you come back with your stuff, we talk. You know, it's a shame it's not just one big, I mean, it probably wouldn't work with lots of people on a conference, but I like doing the live ones, because I see your live stuff. I thought, I wasn't sure what mood I was going to be in today as to whether a live one would really work, but I'll do one in the week. Hopefully the injection faff passes and I'll feel more alive. But yeah, I'm just kind of bumbling along. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up there. I'm at, what, 20 something minutes now. I always forget how long I was waffling beforehand. I stop and start so many times that whatever it says isn't quite the right number. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you're all well, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.